So we're going to talk about nets tonight, real quick. The ham morsels is usually a 5 to 10 minute little presentation, kind of targeted at new people or non-technical people like myself. So we're going to talk net, particularly our net, the W0TLM net. So the first net that ever happened was probably the first two hams who ever talked back and forth. Yeah.
To borrow an old racing joke, it should be, you know, the first net was established when the second radio was built.
That's the earliest net. So basically what a net is, an on-the-air gathering of amateur radio operators. Most nets convene on a pretty regular basis on a specific schedule, usually in a specific frequency range, and they're organized for a particular purpose. Several of them, one that's most common right here in Colorado from May through Labor Day in the middle of September is the Skywarn net. So it's the weather net at 12:30 every day, and they talk about thunderstorms or tornadoes that might be happening, and us as amateur radio operators could be activated by the Weather Service to give reports as to where there's severe thunderstorm, hail, or tornadoes or winds. So there's usually traffic, which means one radio talking to another radio. You can relay messages in emergency situations. Long distance, there's actually long distance overseas DX nets. You can get certificates through nets, you like work all states. Clubs have nets like us, topics, collectors, and even manufacturers such as the Elecraft net. So, question is, have you been on a net? And I had a friend of mine who came to a meeting when we were talking about net, and they were asked, you know, have you been on the net? And he goes, yeah, today. Not the internet. It's a radio net, ham radio information. And ham radio operators, while on the radio, can sometimes be very literal. So you don't want to ask for a radio check. You want to ask for a signal check. Because if you ask for a radio check, John, I need a radio check.
I got one.
Okay. All right. See, they can be very literal. Or they'll say, are you on a radio? Don't say test, test. CQ, CQ is originally Morse code letters for calling any station, calling any station. You know, or you can give out your call sign, you know, like W0HH, monitoring. If you say test, test, somebody will probably come back and say, you failed. Mic check, another one that people don't like to hear. I need a mic check, I need a mic check. It works. I need an audio check. Oh, I'm reading you loud and clear. Give me another one, I'll give you a power report. Things like that. So again, radio operators can be very literal. And why should you, participate in a net? Well, that get ready for emergency situations. You're going to make sure your radio works. Radio check. Oops. Double check the programming in your radio. You know, we talked about the handhelds. Check your input about your radio. Get input about your signal. My Elmer over here, Mr. White, helped me with my brand new Hi-O Pro 7 headset that I kept getting bad audio reports back on that. And thanks to the CBS sound engineer, I'm the best voice they hear on the radio. I got a face for radio, right? So practice listening and transmitting. When you're on the net, you can listen, you'll pick up call signs, you'll start to develop that radio ear. You'll get informed. The amateur radio emergency service, the weather spotters, or like in our case, club information. You can go on to the Amateur Radio Relay League, the ARRL. They have a net directory, and you can download NetLogger. And if you go on netlogger.org, you sign up for an account, and you see Net Monitor. You click on that tab, and it'll show you every net that's on the air at that time. Might be 2 or 3, might be 20, especially at night. So let's talk about the W0TLM net. You can, as you saw on the slide that Stephen put up, we meet every non-meeting Monday night. So it's on our net page. The N0XLF repeater is our repeater of choice. They've been kind enough to allow us to be on there at 7:30, the first, second, and fourth Mondays of the month. Our meetings are the third Monday of the month. So we're on there all the time. Sometimes we have challenges with that Monday night. There's some of us that are like taking Morse Code University, or there's other nets that we're involved in, or business meetings that happen on Monday nights. One of the reasons I haven't been on the net for a while, but usually I'll be on a net. It is a formal directed net. In other words, net control is in charge. We are a friendly group. Hardest part of being net control is deciding on what question you're going to ask for that night. And we've had everything from your favorite pizza to when was the last time you tuned your antenna? So it's an easy script for net control, and I'm going to pass that script out just so everybody can see it. We take some of these and that feels thinner. I don't think I have one for everybody, but that's the net control script. So just repeat after me. Calling the Tri-Lakes net.
Calling the Tri-Lakes net.
Calling the Tri-Lakes net.
Calling the Tri-Lakes net.
Great, you can all be net control. You're trained. You do that, and then you just read that script. And all you have to remember, you as net control, Tricia taught me this when we did our first Parks on the Air activation together. I'm in charge. I caused that pileup. I can pick on who I want. And that's it. You are in charge. So it's easy to do, easy peasy. You can go to our website, and as Stephen said, all you have to do is click up here, Tri-Lakes Net. Okay, click on that tab, the Tri-Lakes Net, and it will take you to join the Tri-Lakes Net. And it'll tell you everything you need to know about what our net is when we're on the air. Every Monday night, 7:30, and we use the N0XLF repeater. With that tuned in your radio, make sure you have that CT CSS tone turned on. Somebody is usually on that repeater during the day, especially like around the 3 o'clock or so time frame. Somebody might be coming down off of Mount Herman, and it's kind of slippery, and they like to talk to you in case he slips and falls. Or, if somebody's picking up the kids from school around that time, so you can get a radio, you can get a signal report on your radio, through that repeater. And that's here in Palmer Lake. And if you can get line of sight, in other words, not too much on the west side of town where Front Range, hills and mountains might block you, you could probably get into that N0XLF repeater. I know some of us at one time used to go get in their car and drive east from their house to the interstate in order to hit the repeater.
So where's the repeater? Sorry, I missed that.
The repeater's here on the other side of Monument and Palmer Lake, and I believe it's on a hillside on a tower, if I remember right. And
What is it northwest of Palmer Lake, I believe?
Yeah,
is the exact
the
location.
exact
And it
location.
has coverage all the way down to Pueblo.
Yeah, and it links with another repeater up in Aurora, I believe. So, I mean, good coverage. The owners of the repeater are from Parker and Aurora. So they're constantly monitoring it. They're usually on there. And Brian or Scott will come on, if you're on the repeater. So that's a good one. Another repeater to use, we don't use it, but it's used quite often, is off Cheyenne Mountain. So that's the best one to hit.
There's like 4 of them.
Yeah. So should be able to hit that from your house. So here's all the information about our net. Down the bottom here, show me how to be net control. Takes you to that page, okay? Volunteer process is simple. If you want to sign up ahead of time, before the panic email goes out the week before, I need somebody for Monday night, I need somebody for Monday. Hey, it's Sunday, I need somebody for the net for Monday.
Monday morning.
Monday morning when that goes out. Down the bottom here, you have W0TLM KZ0Q is the script, which I just handed out to everybody. But fill in the form from the website, well, it says form. Say you want to do it specifically for Christmas Eve. You can sign up for that ahead of time and we'll get you on the calendar for that. But we've been having some challenges to the point where we sweat a lot come Monday morning. But by some miracle, we wind up getting net controls that afternoon or later in the morning. So we've been very successful. And I think our biggest success, I think Stephen will agree with me, is a lot of newly licensed technicians that went through our last class are signing up to be net control. And I know one has been net control several times, and over the phone, I helped her get her antenna up to hit the repeater from her house in the Black Forest here. So, it's not that challenging. And if you're worried about an antenna, our program for October is going to be Egg Fong, Mr. J. Pole antenna. He's going to do the presentation that night. So we'll have a good presentation there in October. You all have copies of the script. In red is for you as net control. In black is what you say as you go through. And the nice thing about it, probably not many people are going to have a copy of the script. So if you skip a line, you have to go back to a line, you muff up the line. You have memory issues like I do. Nobody knows. You're in control. Remember that. Just have fun with it. And like I said, we've had, what's your favorite car? What's your favorite pizza? What's your favorite radio? How well can you tune a radio? When was the last time you used a Smith chart to,
I don't remember that question.
So I mean, it's whatever you want. It's very simple. Very simple. Okay? Any questions about using our net and getting on? Sharing was stopped. All right. Thanks, folks.